Sir, what are your next steps in your development program for football over
Well,
the coming months?
we still have to continue with the grassroots program that we have that started last year, the Kasibulan. And we are going to also to the next level, which is the establishment of centers for excellence. I think in our last meeting with the board, we said that we'll identify 5 areas we're in to start the centers for excellence. And earlier I was talking to His Royal Highness Prince Abdullah and saying that maybe they can help establish those 2 centers for excellence in Mindanao. Maybe one in Metro Manila, one in Luzon, the other areas in Luzon, and 2 in the Visayas. So maybe 5 to 6 centers for excellence as a start.
What are the criteria to become a center of excellence?
Well, we have identified. I think the technical committee have identified the talents that were produced by the grassroots Kasibulan last year, the festivals. So we will zero in on these talents and really, train them to the next level. And incidentally, we have just signed. I mean, the Philippine Sports Commission and the Foreign Ministry of Germany have signed an agreement that will bring in an expert in youth and grassroots from Germany to help us in talent identification, help us in the grassroots program, help us build the youth system in the country. We have asked this thing 2 years ago from the German Football Federation, and through them, they were able to present this to the Foreign Ministry, the German Foreign Ministry, and then they're going to fund this the stint of this German expert here. So the contract, I think, it will run for about 2 years, extendable for another 2 years. So that's what we asked the German Football Federation before, when they asked us where they can help. We said you can help in in our youth and grassroots program. So I think hopefully he'll be here by March next month to start his his stint here in the Philippines, and that's a big plus for us because the German youth system is typically probably the best in the world. They have the youngest national players now, young national players, which they started 2002, 10 years ago. When after the World Cup in Japan, they said we have to revamp the whole system. So they started with youth academies, the grassroots again. Even Germany, which has won the World Cup for so many years, I mean so many times, they had to revamp their system to produce young national players. So we see now the young players in the German football, the national team of Germany. This is the result of their plan, of their 8-year program from 2002 to 2010. And this guy, the one that's going to be assigned here, is one of the architects of the program.
So he has already been identified.
Yeah, I think his name is Thomas Roy. Yeah. So we're thankful for that, because this will help us in the grassroots and the youth system, which I think in the long term is needed by football. In the short term, we have to look at players abroad, that are Filipinos. But we also have to develop our young players here in the country as well, so that they can compete, anywhere.
And
So that's the program now, is the grassroots, and of course, for that's grassroots is for men and women, for girls and boys, and for our youth, we are going to join tournaments, the AFC, AFF, and I think there is a tournament for under 14, for under 16, under 19. So we will be joining those tournaments just to to gauge ourselves, to compare ourselves with the rest of Asia, where we are. There must be a comparison in the youth system also.
These are the little Ascals and the teen Ascals.
Teen Ascals, the little Ascals. So that how far are we, in terms of skills, in terms of, and what do we do to lessen that gap? We have to benchmark ourselves with the others.
And what are the reports coming into you, and also based on what you've seen, what's the progress being made by these two levels, the Little
Well, in the
Ascals
under
and Teen
14, we have
Ascals?
made a great stride in the in the the teen Ascals, whatever, the under 14. We joined the tournament last year in Japan and we came in third, you know, for the under 14, and hopefully we get more players, as the interest for football grows, with the centers for excellence, this will produce the needed players for our youth system.
How about the core of coaches? Where will you get your coaches, and how will you get train or develop more coaches?
As of the moment, we have 10 A licensed coaches. From 2, we had a new eight licensed A licensed coaches now. We are also having a B license course this year. I think it's going to be in May. It's for the C licenses that we have. So we are also having coaching courses for the C, for the P, and maybe for the A again, because we have a lot of P's. Maybe the A license coaching course will be end of this year, by towards the end of this year, to produce more coaches actually. Actually, in football, AFC, we get help from AFC for coaching courses. We get help from FIFA, so we have to take advantage of that.
Sir, the last time we talked, you mentioned something about an IT component in your efforts. Has there been some progress in the IT aspect?
Well, Attorney Gastanes, our General Secretary, has been talking to a group because we have, I think, a funding of about $100,000 for the IT component. But in our talks with FIFA, they said we have to wait first for the other countries, because we can pull ourselves together and just spend, contribute to the software development. Because I think there are 6 countries that have not yet, they don't have not taken advantage of this 100,000, including the Philippines. So in our last meeting, they said you just have to combine the 6 nations so that you won't spend so much on software development. At least we have one software for all, because everything is the same, the database, everything will be the same. So we're just waiting for that. But meanwhile, we are activating our website. With Attorney Gastanes, he has talked to somebody already, I think, the other week. You can ask him about it. So that the website of the PFF will really be activated this time. But for the IT, we have to wait for the 5 other countries, so that we can just pull our resources together, so that we can just spend more on the hardware.
How about, sir, in futsal? What's the progress of futsal in the country? I've been attending some futsal competitions, and the fan base is growing.
Well, actually, futsal, I talked to ESI, and the Department of Education wants to introduce futsal for Palarong Pambansa, for girls. So I think they are looking towards that direction of introducing futsal for elementary level. So that's part of our grassroots program, the futsal. That's why we have now a futsal committee. Incidentally, SC just submitted to us the organizational chart, because we require that it should be a committee. It's not just going to be one-man army, or So we need all the help that we need to really make futsal as part of our grassroots, because in some countries they introduce futsal as their grassroots. 6 to 8, something like that, because more touches, and not you can play it in the basketball court, something, just for grassroots. So hopefully we can also have that in the elementary level, in areas where there's no field. So futsal will be introduced. SE has submitted his program of activities this year. It includes that we were going to join the ASEAN Club Championships, you know, and some tournaments. I think in Visayas, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So futsal is live and kicking, you know, and we would like to support that futsal as well. The only program that I not, you know, although they won't like it, but it's beach football that I'm not so keen about, you know, because it's a different skill, you know, and for me it's right now a recreational sport, you know. It doesn't really, it doesn't really. It's a different. It's a different. Different from futsal and different from, you know, field football.
So even if it's accredited by FIFA itself.
Yeah, you know, there are so many countries that, you know, because beach football is you play in the sand. It's a different. You don't dribble the ball like in the field.
Okay.
You know, so it's really a different type of game.
It could be even more like a variant of beach volleyball.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
you lift the
Okay.
ball and just kick it, you know. So, but while futsal is complementary to football, something like that. So now for the national team, we have tournaments here. We have a tournament here in March, and of course the SEA Games for the under-23 in December in Myanmar, and we're still looking for sponsors that will allow us to have the Independence Cup in June. You know.
What are the countries, sir, na possibly to invite for the
Independence Cup? Well, I like to invite, of course, a club from Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think somebody has emailed us. They're interested to come, and maybe a club from China.
So clubs, sir,
Yeah,
not
club.
national.
Against the national team.
Okay.
You know, you can have that, no problem. So, well, it's off season in Europe, so maybe like last year when I talked to the Resort World people, they said they can help us invite Aston Villa because Aston Villa is sponsored by Genting Highlands. So when they go to Asia, they can come over in the Philippines because they have built a pitch now in McKinley, Resort World. So they're into football as well.
Oh, Arsenal nasa Indonesia sa July, I think.
No,
Iisip lang, pupunta ako ng Indonesia para lang makita.
Aston Villa kasi is Genting Highlands eh. So their number one sponsor is Genting Highlands. And Resort World is a joint venture between Megaworld and Genting.
Sir, monitor ba ninyo yung conditioning ng under-23? Are they getting to be faster? Kasi
Well,
initially, is part sa mga concerns yata parang they need to get
well, I
more
talked
in
to
shape.
the technical department and I said maybe this May, if we can invite all the players, even those that are considered from Europe, to have a camp here in the Philippines, just to look at the whole pool of our under-23. I think May is the best time to gather them together because, you know, the season in Europe is over. These are the young players, and also our school is done. So maybe if we can come together in preparation for the December.
So sir, may coach na ba tayo for under-23?
Wala pa.
Okay.
Kamusta naman sir ang status ng talks niyo with the UAAP and the universities and colleges? Last time we talked, you said you're trying to work out a coordinated schedule with them.
So far naman the coaches of UAAP and the NCAA are very cooperative, you know. I think naman there's no December maybe, and well, it's for the country, they can release their players, you know, if it's really for the country. So I don't see any problem with, you know, with that in that aspect, because some the coaches are, you know, they are our coaches from the PFF. We, you know.
Sir, malapit na naman ang palarong pambansa. Football is there among the games. has it been reaping the harvest that you would like as a contributor to your efforts?
Uh, well, as I've been talking earlier to Abner Labha of Compostela, he says that, you know, their products, the school, the the public school players in Compostela have been taken by FEU for their team. So more or less that, I think, there's a contribution of the Palarong Pambansa as far as football development is concerned. That's why in our meeting before, I told the competitions committee that we should not duplicate, you know, the tournament of the DepEd with our tournament. Because let's say like Palarong Pambansa, it's under 13. So we can always help DepEd. That's why we had this memorandum of agreement with DepEd that we signed last year, so that we can help them in in the football competitions of Palarong Pambansa, just like in the high school level as well. So we don't have to have another 15 or under 17 tournament, because we can utilize this as a as a means of scouting for under 17, because these are the same ages. You don't have to duplicate, and this is nationwide. So it's just a matter of helping them probably in the officiating, because we know that the referees in Palarong Pambansa are sometimes just the teachers who don't have enough knowledge about the laws of the game. So that's in a memorandum of agreement that we should support them in the officiating as well, to make the tournament more, more competitive. Because if the officiating is really bad, then it's not good for the competition. So in that aspect, we want to help the DepEd. We want to collaborate to produce a better tournament for the high school and the elementary level.
So sir, yung sasabi niyo si Coach Thomas, right, he will also be handling the national teams of youth national teams.
No, he'll just be talent identification.
Okay.
Talent identification, and maybe designing a program as well. But we have local coaches that can be top, because we have coaches for the youth. We have sent them to Japan for studies. We have sent them to Germany. So we have coaches that have, that are knowledgeable about youth coaching.
Yeah. And the program is 2 years to identify those talents.
Yes, that's his term here.
Okay.
But we can extend it for another 2 years. So we're hoping that he'll be here for 4 years.
Yeah. So speaking of national teams, kamusta na po yung kay Coach Vice? Has he already signed the extension?
Yeah, I think he's gonna sign.
So he hasn't signed pa.
Yeah, he's in Myanmar. So I don't know if he signed just last night or whatever.
Okay.
He's talking with the general secretary.
Okay. Alright. Right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you rin, ha.
Yes, sir.
So, sana mo yung contribution ng AFF.
Yeah.
Salamat po.
Sige, sir.